semifinal number 2 here from Sunday Night Magic. All right, Eric Severson, Ben Weitz, and Neil Oliver playing against Yin Yu Fei. That is Peter Ye in the middle. He goes by Peter.
Peter, yep.
Yep, and Zhu. You mentioned Peter, we covered...
Yeah, at the Mox.
At the Mox, like the Mox.
Yep, Magic Online Championship Series.
Right, like the one that you won an invitation to.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed. Yeah. High five. Give me that.
I can't wait to
Feels
get
good.
you in the feature match at the Pro Tour, Kenji, and ruthlessly shame you. Yeah, it's going to be great. Ooh, I wouldn't have played that. That's what I'm going to say. In the meantime, zeros across the board. We're just underway here for Neil Oliver. He's got Water Trap Weaver and a Cherished Hatchling.
Yeah, that card has also underperformed a lot since when the set first came out, I think. A lot of people were thinking, well, we'll make a trade or something and then I'll get to ambush one of the other dudes. But often enough, it's just a 2-1 that trades for a 2-power creature or something like that.
It's kind of a Christmas land scenario.
Right, exactly.
It's like never actually happens. All right, so Weaver and Hatchling are going to get into the red zone. There's no blockers currently for Zhu.
Yeah, and he doesn't have double green open, so no Swift Warden nonsense there.
Yeah, great read. That is an uncommon from the set that you do have to consider. And unfortunately for Neil, he doesn't have a whole lot of... Wow, he got a Hornswoggled, but he does have another land to go and another 3-drop. Oh, nice play from Neil Oliver. He actually ends up resolving potentially a more powerful option.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jungleborn Pioneer is one of the better commons in the set, honestly. It's just, it does so much work because you get 2 different bodies. It's Merfolk Tribal. If you have any Lord or anything like that, then you get like 5 power with the creatures for 3 mana.
That's right, and you know that token has hexproof, so you could place to dump counters or enchantments. Man, Hornswoggled.
Looks like we have pretty classic Merfolk Mirror here. Jade Bear. A 3-2 is not big enough quite yet. Zhao's going to need another counter to make that Shaper Apprentice worth anything more than a trade here.
And he's too far behind to try to race, huh?
Exactly, yeah. Shaper Apprentice did have flying, notably. Yeah,
that's what I was wondering if he maybe wanted to think about getting in the red zone, but you can certainly see the downside to that. If the life totals are 20 to 14, that is a tough sell. Yeah, and this is where things get a little sketchy here for Neil Oliver. He's got a Strider Harness.
I don't actually mind that card.
Yeah, you like every card, though.
No, that's not true. I don't care for Herald of Broken Streams.
You like every card on the battlefield.
That's a lie.
I don't like Jade Bear. I find it pretty mediocre.
Again, 1-1s are completely fine in this format. I mean, you even see Neil has a few 1-1s or X1s himself at the very least, but...
if you say so. So, the precious Cherished Hatchling is going to pick up that Strider Harness.
Yeah, it means
and bang, 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 everybody in the red zone.
Jade Bear can't just block and trade.
All right, but it looks like Zhu has a little bit more to do with this mana this turn than just pass.
Sure. And using the Aggressive Urge to trade for a creature seems great.
It is, yeah. That's probably one of the better case scenarios for him at this point, as it's going to get him a card as well, make sure those land drops keep flowing, as he finds himself significantly behind in this game, and he needs to do some work to get back. Well, he is attacking now.
Probably a Deadeye Rigger then. Rig Hauler, rather.
There you go, Deadeye Rig Hauler, and that is going to set back a decent amount of tempo there. 2-drop plus the equip cost.
Yeah, awkward that none of the bounce targets were all that great, honestly.
No.
Like bouncing a 2-drop when your opponent has Strider Harness is medium. Jungleborn Pioneer, well, you probably don't want to bounce that, and Hexproof, you just can't.
That's right.
So what he could have done is maybe bounced his own Jade Bear? I think that might have been a different consideration, but...
Ooh, there's Herald.
Herald of Secret Streams.
We were just talking about you, buddy.
Yeah.
And he's going to pick up that Strider Harness, which is going to give him haste as well. And if there's a double block, he could do it.
I think
he would lose both creatures.
I think he probably wants to, just because the potential that the Herald has.
I agree, but he is going to start falling pretty far behind if he's just going to straight trade, you know, 2 blockers for 1 card here.
I mean, it bounced the Cherished Hatchling, the Deadeye Rig Hauler did, and, you know, it didn't come back down this turn. So I think a double block's good. Unless he actually thinks he can race this position. Maybe he has more bounce spells in hand, but this makes sense.
Yeah, and it looks like Neil didn't have any +1/+1 counter things going on. Yeah, it's 3/4, so that's going to die too. So he didn't mind trading off Herald of Secret Streams.
All right, there's the double green there.
Crested Herd Collar, anybody?
That would be very good on this battlefield.
Card's been great.
Tempest Collar.
Well, that is not going to do much. Basically just 2-3. And remember, at the very least, Neil can recast the Cherished Hatchling.
Yeah, I don't like that attack with the Shaper. You're so far behind. And remember, if Neil just equips the Strider Harness onto the Jungleborn Pioneer, he gets to get in for 3 anyways.
That is true, which is exactly what he's going to do.
Maybe this is his only out, though.
And there's Cherished Hatchling. Let's see if we move the Strider Harness. He's just seeing, does it do any difference here? It does. It lets him trade the Hatchling for the Collar if he wished to, but I think he just doesn't plan on doing that. So.
Yeah, he has multiple reasons to leave it on the Jungleborn Pioneer. One is that he has, I think, Snapping Sailback in his hand, so if he doesn't draw a land for the turn, he wouldn't be able to re-equip the Strider Harness and play the Snapping Sailback.
Exactly what he has. Yep, that is correct. So mana efficiency there, making sure that Neil can use up all of his mana. Now he's going to try to figure out what to do, because this time Zhou did not attack.
Cherished Hatchling, pretty good with Snapping Sailback. I mean, get to eat something, fight, and Rage Trigger a little bit bigger. Well, it looks like Neil's just going to press the advantage here. Now, it's possible Neil drew a land for the turn, in which case, you know, a trade-off here is great for him. And it makes sense to trade off the Tempest Collar as opposed to the Shaper, because the Shaper with 3 power can still trade away with the Jungleborn. But yeah, there's that important land, and oddly, we're going to see Neil flash in the Snapping Sailback on his own turn because of the Cherished Hatchling. Gets to eat the Shaper now. So
he gets the fight out of it.
Yep.
Even though he doesn't get the flash out of it.
Yeah.
Wait, he chose to use the flash given by the Hatchling. We saw it. It actually happened on camera. We're counting that. Cherished Hatchling, the real deal. Criminally underrated. And that is Neil Oliver picking up game number 1 thanks to Cherished Hatchling. Eric Severson and Jinyu Fei are in the middle of their game number 1. Well, I see 3 Legion Conquistador there, Kenji, on one side of the table, as well as the City's Blessing with a Dusk Charger. And there's also a Dinosaur Hunter. On the other side, though, Eric is going for Hunt the Weak. He's going to kill the Dinosaur Hunter. And, well, it's because he's got 2 dinosaurs on the battlefield. A Thrash of Raptors. Haven't seen that guy in a while. I kind of miss him, not going to lie.
Yeah, good play. Dinosaur Hunter would have just straight up traded for either of Eric's larger creatures. But still no good attacks because of that Dusk Charger. Like, if he attacked with the Thrash of Raptors, Fei could just throw any number of Legion Conquistadors in front of it. So a bit of a standoff here. Both players at a really healthy life total as well. And it's actually weird. Generally, the dinosaur deck is better in this type of situation because their creatures are just larger, but because of that Dusk Charger, you know, if Fei has any of the unblockable, say, flyers, then he gets to start beating in.
Big turn here for Jinyu Fei. If he can start clearing away some of these blockers, he may be able to get in for a bunch of damage, but right now, a lot of work to do. Both players very high life total, and it looks like it's just going to be a Paladin of the Bloodstained here.
Yeah, I don't think he minds just building out his board. I mean, he's not in a rush. He's still at 20. Severson, I mean, fine attacks, as he'll trade with something at the very least, but that's not even that tempting, right?
No, he also may have any number of combat tricks or removal spells that he'd like to preserve. But it does look like he's out of gas for the time being. Fei's got, I think, 3 cards in hand.
Oh.
What are you seeing, Kenji?
I see Eric has one of the primal dinosaurs.
One of the Elder Dinos?
One of the Elders.
Which one?
One that's larger than the rest.
One that's larger than the rest. Is it a 12-12?
It might be a 12-12.
Does it have trample?
It might also have trample.
I like the sound of that. I don't know what card it is, but it sounds cool.
Sounded like you knew.
Yeah, I was onto it for a while, but I lost the track. Well, he didn't draw it here. Galta would be great, and you can usually kind of just rumble in with Galta and say you figure out the damage. But
right.
Instead, Hardy Veteran is the draw. Not nearly as exciting.
Let's see what Fei is running with here. He has a Twilight Prophet.
Oh, wow. That would be a sick draw.
That
wow. So these guys both have very live bombs to draw. I love me a Twilight Prophet.
Oh, for a minute, I thought Fei only had 3 Legion Conquistadors, but he has 3 from Rivals and 1 from regular Ixalan.
4, huh? You can see Fei's taking some notes there.
Yeah, this is just a classic board stall, which surprisingly you don't see very often in this format, but when this does happen, obviously it's just whoever can find their better cards in a more timely fashion. That or whoever bites first.
Yeah, Fei is 22 years old from China. I think he lives in Cleveland right now, though.
Okay, Needletooth Raptor. That can potentially take care of the Dusk Charger and allow for Eric to get some better attacks in, as then any of his 4-power creatures would at least trade for 2 of Fei's. So it's definitely a start.
Man, those Legion Conquistadors doing good work, though, just super gumming up the ground. Just making life difficult for Eric, even though he's got some pretty big creatures. Well, there goes that start again. What did he use to kill it?
I think that might have been Impale, yeah.
Looks like it.
And you can just see how important that Dusk Charger is, using an Impale on that 2/2.
Previous Magic accomplishments for Jinyu Fei are 65th at GP Indy last year.
Oh, well, this is quite a improvement.
He's also won a PTQ in Beijing.
Imagine.
Oh! Hello!
What happened?
Twilight Prophet.
Oh!
Kabang!
I think he has the City's Blessing. I could be wrong on that math, though.
You are not wrong. He might have 2 City's Blessings.
Okay, but with Commune here, we might find a Galta. I don't think so. Looks like a Trailblazer. And was that another Hardy Veteran? Commune with dinosaurs. Oh, he can't even take any of those non-dino creatures, can he? Well, land it is. That does dig him deeper to that Galta, though.
It does, although he would have liked to just found it.
Right. Well, I mean... Oh, mutiny here. Dusk Charger killing the Prophet, potentially.
Oh, there goes the Prophet.
Okay, and
I love that card.
That was going to take over the game. So
yes.
now we're back at this position where it's going to be on Eric to find his Galta.
I mean, this game was effectively over if you got to untap with that thing. Draws extra cards. You called it the reverse Bob.
Right.
But I did the math, and Bob is the same in reverse. Anyway, that would have completely dominated, especially with Eric sitting here with virtually no action.
Yeah, again. Oh, there. I think we saw her.
Oh, and it's Galta off the top for Eric Severson.
Now, remember, Fei used his Impale already. I'm not sure how much other removal he has, but that's going to necessitate a removal spell or a very large number of chump blocks. Okay, Dino Hunter actually is very good at here.
Dino Hunter! Oh, Jinyu Fei has the answer right back again, though. Still, Galta could do some damage, though. He's not going to want to attack with Jinyu Fei at 20 life just to trade it for a 2-drop, even if he gets in for a full 10 damage.
I mean, he only used 2 mana. Was that
a Fire Cannon Blast. I think he just found it off the top.
Okay. There it goes.
Fire Cannon Blast, kaboom, send the Dinosaur Hunter packing, and bang, in comes Galta, 12-12 trample. And here we go, Jin. You're going to have to line up a lot of blockers.
You have to block this. You have to go for a trade of some variety, even if it means you're losing 4 or 5 creatures here, as every turn that Galta stays on the battlefield, your chances of winning just drop astronomically.
So he actually lined up everything except for the Charger, which is 12, but it's exactly 12. And just like if anything goes wrong, he just loses literal his whole board outside of the charger.
But at this point, you have to imagine that Eric probably doesn't have any more removal spells. He might have combat tricks, but removal spells unlikely. And if you're Fei, you just have to offer some kind of trade here.
I think, Kenji, you would just stack up every creature you had and just say, block.
The problem with that is that losing the Dusk Charger means that every one of Eric's other creatures can start getting in.
Well, maybe. I mean, remember, the Dust Charger soaks up 5 of that damage, which would save maybe 2 of the other creatures.
But the problem is, you know, if you do block with the Charger and you're left with, say, 2 2/2s, well, that doesn't block a 5/3 very well.
Oh, that's very true. That's exactly 12, and he says, okay. Now, I think he's going to take 1 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess he takes
1 effectively because of the lifelink.
Yeah.
And Fei's going to also get a treasure.
But he is going to take the, what, 6 for 1?
I mean, you have to do what you have to do.
Oh, my God.
And it's not technically a 6 for 1. Remember, the Conquistadors found themselves, right?
Fair enough.
Basically drew more cards. Oh, another Dust Charger. That's perfect.
Wow. Board stable. So let's see. It's back on Eric Severson. So we were mentioning the big bombs, the haymakers that they had available. Yep. They both just traded them.
Yep.
And this is a good attack here with Thrash of Raptors. This is offering a trade for one of the Dust Chargers. And Jinyu Fei, he could take it, but he's going to have to deal with this Thrash, so he may as well do it now.
I think a double block makes sense here, because then you don't get blown out by like a Sure Strike or something like that. Okay, but he just single blocked.
I think he probably said, look, if you had the Sure Strike.
You would have used the previous turn, and you just drew the Bonded, or rather the Stampeding Horn Crest.
Still, yeah. I kind of like the double block, but...
I mean, if Eric had not played his 4/4 prior to combat, then yeah, sure. Yep. You make that block, but otherwise, yeah.
Okay, Paralands in hand for Severson. No good attacks with Jinyu Fei at 19.
Yeah.
And back to you. So who can find a powerful spell to take over this game first?
There aren't too many powerful spells left in each other's deck, but a flyer will do something.
Hey. Oh, boy. Commune with Dinosaurs for Eric. That could find him something big.
Well,
he found him a bunch of jank.
No, I saw that Overgrown Armasaur. That is a 4/4, right?
It's not very good against a 5/5. Although, interestingly, you know what he did draw? Fathom Fleet Firebrand, which he would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, he would have.
I mean, he could pump that thing enough to kill the Dust Charger. But
you can see Fei here counting the number of cards left in deck.
Yeah, but those are going to go on the bottom, right?
Right. He was just seeing how many turns, you know, if both players exhaust their resources.
Right. So anyway, the best card he could take there with the Commune was that Overgrown Armasaur, which is just a little short from being able to tussle, though, with the Dust Charger. Still, he's got a powerful board.
Sure, and he's almost at the point where he can start chump attacking just to get in some extra points of damage, especially since Fei basically only has the 5/5, the 2/3, not doing too much on this board.
Yeah, Eric has 17 power on the board. Oops. Oh, well, this is on Time Walk.
Looks like we swapped matches down to the middle seat.
Oh, I see what happened. They must have switched it over because this is a potential match-deciding game here. Which is a little disappointing because we were so emotionally invested in Eric Severson versus Jinyu Fei. But I'll tell you what, if this one ends in Peter Ye's favor, we wouldn't have got to watch the end of it. It just would have fallen flat on the floor anyway. So this really is where we should be here, as Peter Ye, if he wins this, puts his team into the finals.
Yeah.
And also, of note, stops that other one. Yeah, apologize, but this is sort of the nature of team magic, is that we really got to kind of follow the story, because if the match ends, you don't get to watch the end of the other one anyway. By the way, this is a thumping here. Look at that. 3-1 as we come in.
Yep.
And if this happens to be the game that goes to Peter Ye, then the thing's just over.
Exactly. And it looks like the board has reached parity for now. Ben does have that Pirate's Cutlass, which is allowing him to do some work. But, you know, if Peter Ye just gets anything going here, even that, Crested Pterodon, that is going to be good enough.
Absolutely. That thing is a 3-turn clock in the air and a pretty big problem.
Well, there's a Vanquish the Week in Ben White's hands, so that's a pretty good answer. But the problem is, it's not an exile. It's not Reaver Ambush. So that means
the Atsukan Seer can get
exactly. Atsukan Seer can bring back the 2/5 2-5 flying vigilance and just put Ben on that clock again.
I wonder if he has anything else in his yard, because another interesting play here for Ben is he also has walk the plank.
Okay.
And if he can kill the Seer first, if there's no targets, he could actually deal with the Sun-Crested Pterodon permanently. But the problem is if there's something good to get back, you know, that has attacks or trades or something on the ground even, then that line of play doesn't really work out for Ben.
And it looks like Ben has a lot of permanence on the board, but he only has 2 creatures right now, the Dinosaur Hunter and currently the 5/4 Fathom Fleet Border, since it has the Cutlass on it.
Yeah, you're right. That could be pretty precarious as well. Seeing a Danto Vanguard at the bottom part of the screen there for Peter Yeh, and you know that's the kind of thing that can get unleashed if he can just get that border out of the way for a turn or kill it.
I like the attack from Ben. Peter's going to have to respect this.
He really is, right? There's too many combat tricks or ways to lose a life.
Or burn spell, yeah.
Yeah, burn spell, lose a life, Sky March. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that kills you here.
Fanatical Firebrand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see. So this is a 5/4. I mean, Peter does have some okay blocks. I think Ben is trying to prompt a block from maybe the
Seer.
The Seer and one other creature.
Yeah, because if he can kill it, then he gets to maintain one of his removal spells in hand, which is a great.
Well, not only that, he might be able to use the removal spell, you know, Vanquish the Weak as a 2-for-1.
Mm. Oh, good point. And then use the other one on the Pterodon.
Right, exactly.
Ooh, this is a huge turning point here, depending on how Peter decides to navigate this. Also, I still can't quite see his graveyard enough to know.
I like this block from Peter.
Wow, that's a big block. So what do you like about this?
It prevents the most potential blowouts, right? Because even if a single targeted removal spell is used, you still have enough damage to kill the Fathom Fleet Border. Okay, and he figures that his board is good enough even if he doesn't have the Sun-Crested Pterodon, because this does risk that card. Yep.
Really cool block here from Peter Yeh, and not the most obvious one. And look at that. He got him to do it.
Yep.
Now he gets to kill the Pterodon.
Well, another thing here is that, you know, Peter didn't have any other dinosaurs, so the Pterodon didn't have vigilance to begin with, but we'll see the Walk the Plank take that out.
I'm a little surprised to see him use Walk the Plank there. It was the safer one to use because no matter what, it was going to kill the Pterodon. But what happens if Peter just plays a Colossal Dreadmaw or something now? He doesn't have an answer for it.
I think he's valuing the instant speed blowout potential.
Okay.
Over, I mean, the sorcery speed deal with effectively anything that Yeh could have here.
Okay.
I do think that was an interesting use of removal, though. I think Vanquish was something that it immediately comes to mind when you think of what spell you want to use.
Yeah, because you know the thing you're thinking about if you're in Ben's seat, you know, among other things, is well, what else? You know, I got to be able to deal with everything here. And look at this, Peter just going to jam.
And now the Vanquish of the Week is going to pay dividends.
It really will. So Ben White's with a good read on what Peter had in mind, and maybe just thinking one step ahead about what this next combat would look like, and wanting to have the instant speed removal. Very impressive stuff here from Ben. And like you said, it is going to pay dividends. I mean, assuming that there's no pump spell. Oh,
all right, moment of triumph.
It is. And he's going to play it on a creature that he can make indestructible. So that was a lethal attack, and this has been stopping lethality.
Aggressive urge for the last point of damage,
That is enough to kill Ben White.
Wow, well played by Peter.
3 + 2 + 1 = 6.
Holy moly.
And that puts Peter Yeh and company into the finals. Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking he can't just have the moment of triumph because it's so risky to play into a single removal spell, but it makes sense. Not only could he give that creature indestructible, so it's pretty safe to pump it the first time, but then he had the follow-up as well.
Wow, fantastic win there for that team. And, I mean, this is one of the least experienced teams left in, you can see our bracket here.
Right.
I mean, I can tell you that Jinyu Fei is 22 years old. Peter is 26. He's the elder statesman of this of this team because Zhou, he's 17.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got a young team ready to go up against... Well, the oldest team, for sure. That's, of course, Paulo Vitor Damarosa, Ben Stark, and Eric Froelich. And, wow, that team really has their work cut out for them because they're going to have to beat 3 Hall of Famers if they're going to take that trophy home. We've got finals booster drafts, plus the finals here on Sunday Night Magic right after these messages.